You're listening to the Spirituality with Ashley podcast, where we talk about all the spiritual and personal growth and development things. I'm your host, Ashley, a certified Akashic Records reader and energy healer and trained psychic medium. You could say I'm a spiritual growth coach. And you are in the right place if you're ready to expand your consciousness and open yourself up to the limitless possibilities of existence. Come along with me on this journey of exploration where the universe speaks and we listen with open hearts. Let's dive in. Hello, hello, and welcome to today's episode, the synergy of intuition and energy work. How intuition and energy work together. What are both of them? What are both of them? Oh, no, we're not doing that in this podcast episode. What are both of them? Also, if you're here for proper English, I'm your girl. Oh my God. Or woman. I should say woman. I'm not a girl. Oh my gosh, let's redo this intro. Jeez Louise. Welcome to today's episode. It's about the synergy of intuition and energy work. So we're going to talk about intuition and energy work, how they work together to help you in your life. Boom. That was way better. I am so glad that you're here and taking time to prioritize your personal and spiritual growth with me. Honored. So whether you're a regular listener, an OG, if you will, or you're joining me for the first time, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Love you. I love you. I am Ashley, spiritual growth and intuition development coach. And today we are going to be talking about a topic that's very close to my heart, connecting with and strengthening your intuition and using energy work to create a more aligned, fulfilling life because they work so well together. So in this episode, we're going to be exploring how these two powerful forces, intuition and energy, work together to guide you toward a life that feels deeply connected to your purpose and your true self. I'm going to be sharing valuable insights on what intuition and energy work are, the benefits of using them together, the benefits of just using them alone, and then some practical techniques to get you started. Plus, if you stick around until the end of the episode, I've got a special offer, a little discount code for a sale this week. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're getting into today. So let's go ahead and get into it. You guys know I like to start off by defining what I'm talking about so we can all get on the same page. So intuition is usually thought of as like if you're just talking about intuition out in the world, you're not in a spiritual context or anything. It's kind of like this gut feeling. That's how people know like intuition. Gut feeling, this inner knowing that guides you, but it's more than just a sixth sense. It's this deep inner wisdom that's available to all of us. And we often will experience it through physical sensations like a gut feeling, but also through subtle insights, sudden clarity, these ideas that are super inspired. That's also your intuition. And one of the biggest myths is that intuition is this rare gift that's reserved for like a select few. But honestly, everybody has intuition, and it's really just learning how to recognize it and trust it. So energy work, on the other hand, focuses more on your energy field, your chakras, your aura, life force, and practices like Reiki, chakra balancing, or even just simple grounding techniques are designed to clear, balance, and then restore your energy. When your energy is flowing freely, it will positively impact your mind, your body, your spirit. And when it's not flowing freely, when it's stagnant or blocked or stuck or congested, your energy can negatively impact your mind, your body, and your spirit. So how do the two work together? Intuition and energy work. You can think of your intuition as like this internal GPS system, and energy work as clearing the fog on the road that you're driving on. So if your energy is blocked or unbalanced, then your intuition might feel cloudy or hard to access. So if your intuition is your GPS, maybe this isn't the best example. If I was drawing it, it would help. All of my clairvoyant visual people, I hope you're visualizing this. So if your intuition is like your GPS, and then energy work is like clearing the fog off the road, then if your energy is blocked or unbalanced, then your intuition or your GPS might be like wonky. It might not be giving you clear directions. But when you strengthen your intuition and when you align your energy, it's like your intuitive channels just open up more clearly because you're making more space. We all carry emotional baggage. We all store stuff. Nobody has perfect energy. And so the more you can clean that up, the more you can balance it, the better impact it has on your life. And that means like better intuition, more trust in yourself, more confidence, more alignment. It's easier to choose things that are aligned for you. It's easier to see things that are aligned for you. It's just easier to see things. And I don't mean physically, I mean like your perspective. So it can feel when your intuitive channels open up and you strengthen your intuition and you're doing energy work. And we're going to talk about like daily energy work practices. You don't have to go and get a session from somebody to do energy work, but it can just feel easier and more smooth to connect with your intuition when you have all your energy aligned and balanced. It's easier to recognize your higher self and just move through life. So strengthening your intuition gives you access to deeper insights into who you are and what you need. It's like having this personal roadmap to self-discovery, growth, personal development, and the list goes on. And so energy alignment, which can be facilitated through energy work, helps you to make decisions that feel right, helps you to be more authentic and true to yourself. It reduces overthinking and it helps you to trust your inner guidance rather than second guessing yourself, which I know everybody does. We all do it. Why wouldn't we? Like, I mean, yeah, we have our hearts, our intuition, our internal guidance system, but then we also have logic, and we are usually taught in life that we are supposed to depend on logic. Logic is the thing you can trust. You can't trust your intuition or the way you're feeling about stuff. So I think a lot of us have this baggage that we're letting go of, where we're dispelling that. That's a myth. That's not a thing. We're supposed to use logic in what's the word I'm looking for? We're supposed to use our logic and our intuition and our hearts, not only our logic, not just our brains. So, where was I? So your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs, your stories, they all carry energy and they don't always align. Those energies don't always align harmoniously with your frequency. And that's where energy work comes in. It's not just to help you. I mean, not only can it help you to identify stuck emotions and subconscious beliefs and unconscious patterns and blocks, but then it can also help you to move and align your energy so that it flows in a way that supports your development instead of hindering your development. So when your intuition and your energy are in harmony, you experience less stress, better emotional health, and even better physical well-being. And you're more balanced and grounded in your daily life. So at the end of the day, this work, energy work, intuitive work, it helps you to live more authentically. It helps you to align with your values, your purpose, your true desires. And then you're no longer operating from fear or confusion, but more from this place of empowerment, this place of deep inner wisdom. And honestly, it's funny because like I wouldn't have thought anything of the phrase aligned with your values because I just said that. I was like, at the end of the day, this work helps you to live more authentically, aligned with your values, your purpose, your desires. I wouldn't have thought anything of aligned with your values until this morning. Friendly warning, I'm about to venture off into a sidebar and it is for a reason and there will be value. So I'm just letting you know, giving you the disclaimer. I will circle it back around. I always do. So aligned with your values probably seems like an innocuous, very just like, yeah, align with your values. What's the big deal about that? Why are we stopping for a sidebar about that? Are you aligned with your values? Do you know what your values are? I thought I did, or at least I thought I was more clear about what my values were at the very least and how they impact my life and decision making. And I wasn't super consciously clear of that. And now I'm like, oh my God, what else am I not clear on? Like, I'm loving journaling. So I've gotten back into journaling as this modality to help me process my emotions because I am a serial suppressor. I laugh because I love alliteration and serial suppressor is like a cute title. Oh my God, my lips are so dry. I can see the dry skin. That's from being hungover yesterday. The choices we make. I hate being hungover. I don't generally drink enough to get hungover. Ugh. Anyway, Check out my stories if you want to know why, if you're listening to this on Monday. Anyway, so I've gotten back into journaling so that I can process my emotions, and it's been so helpful. Oh my gosh. So this morning, because I'm doing a daily practice, even if it's just like a 5 minute write down stuff in the morning, because I need to be consistent with it. I need to be making time and space for myself. And so this morning I chose a journal prompt. It was, what are my core values and how do they shape my decisions? And I was like, oh, I don't want to answer this question. It seems hard. Like I'm somebody who actually uses the sentence, and I know many people do, but I'm like, I love challenges. I thrive on challenges. I used to say that a lot. Now I understand how my words create my reality and impact my energy. And so I don't try to brag about loving challenges. I'm like, I want things to go smoothly. I like for things to just work out. I don't want it to be challenging. I don't need all the obstacles to make me feel worthy anymore. No, let's coast. Let's do this in the simplest, easiest way. I don't need it to be hard. And so, as I was recognizing that, I was like, I don't want to answer this question. So, well, I now have to answer the question because obviously I need it because I'm avoiding it. I'm a big avoider. That's another thing that I'm working on right now. So, I had to get some help breaking down that question into four smaller questions because when I read it, I was like, oh my God, I feel ridiculous. Suddenly I have like no idea what core values even look like. Why do I feel like I don't even know what a core value is right now? I drew a complete blank. It made me so nervous, this question. And I was like, give me a list. Give me a list of what some core values are, and I'll choose the ones that resonate with me the most. But just for me to pull them out of thin air, the pressure that I felt in the moment. So I looked it up. I looked up core values. I got some clarity. I felt a little better about it. And then I get into journaling. I was so much more nervous about answering the question than I ever would have anticipated. Like, how are your core values aligned with the way you make decisions? How is that impacting you? What? The weight of that question for me this morning. I can't not see the skin hanging off my lip. If you are watching this, please don't look at it. And now that I told you, you're probably going to be like looking for it on my lip. So you know what? We'll make a game out of it. Find the skin on my lip. What side is it on? Where are we at? Okay. So, hmm, took a sip of water as I was trying to talk. So yeah, answering that question was a lot harder than I would have anticipated, which I thought was really wild. So I broke it down into four other questions. And I'm sharing this stuff with you guys because, like I said, we're all about spirituality, personal development, and growth here. And your healing, the self-awareness, introspection part of organizing things mentally is still important for your spiritual growth also. Because, like I said, your logic and your heart work together. And so as you're healing, as you become more self-aware and you use introspection as a tool to discover your patterns and your thoughts and your things that are affecting you so that you can consciously choose what's affecting you, the healing, the self-awareness that comes with journaling and with asking yourself these questions and answering them is huge because it helps you to get to know yourself more. It helps you to get to know what is impacting the way that you're operating. And it empowers you to be able to make choices from a place of alignment, from a healthy place. And it's so helpful. Okay, try not to get off on too many tangents. So anyway, the four questions, also because I love sharing my journey with you guys. And like right now, journaling is so huge for me. Oh my gosh, it's so healing. I've always been a journaler, but I'll take breaks. Like I have a million journals just everywhere. But sometimes I don't journal. And I think it's when I'm starting to notice it's because I'm like, ooh, I don't want to look at the things. I'm going through a hard time. And I think I just get used to struggling through a hard time. I'm very familiar with depression and anxiety and like panic attacks and stuff. And so I think sometimes I just avoid doing the things I need to do, as many of us do. And journaling is so helpful for me. It helps me to process. So, as does talking. That's why I have a podcast. I'm a verbal processor. What are you going to do? Okay. So, anyway, the four questions that I broke the main question down into were, what are the qualities that are non-negotiable for me in my life? When do I feel like I'm acting in alignment with who I truly am? And when I've made decisions I'm proud of, what are the values behind those decisions? By the way, for me, it was honesty, freedom, and compassion. Those drive a lot of my decisions. Um, and then when I've made decisions that don't feel right or that didn't feel right, was it because they conflicted with my core values? Are you having a hard time making a decision right now? I encourage you to answer this question about your core values and really take time to think about it. If you need to look up core values, Google that junk. That's why Google is there. And oh my gosh, it can help you. I had this huge decision. Anyway, and journaling about that, I was like, oh, it's so clear now that I see what's behind the decision because I was just looking at it as like, oh, it's this thing or it's that thing. Not necessarily. I also did have a family constellation session. So I did some energy work over the weekend, which also gave me that idea. But it's still, I was still like, okay, now I know what decision to make, but it's still on my mind. It's still something I'm thinking about all the time. I'm still nervous about making that decision. And then today, when I journaled, I was like, oh my God, it's so nice to understand these things. Like, who knew that just thinking about and talking about my core values would help me to be like, oh, this path, not that one. Wild. Because logically, I was like, oh, no, it's that path. That path is the best choice. Duh. But it's because I've got some blocks I'm still working through. And so it felt like the right choice because I was like, well, it's safer. The safer option is not always the best option. We are here for the growth, guys. Okay. So I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm not giving you any context. Anyway, though, I made more notes about this, but I just don't feel like reading them. Okay, so back to the regularly scheduled programming. So energy work, especially when paired with intuitive insights, help you to live more authentically or helps you to live more authentically, which looks like alignment with your values, alignment with your purpose and your core or your true desires. I'm still stuck on the core values. And it's like you got to this place where you're no longer operating from fear or confusion, but from this place of deep inner wisdom and understanding your soul and your purpose and your goals. You just know what your path is. Okay, so let's start out with intuition because I want to talk about some practical techniques to strengthen your intuition. And then I'm going to talk about some practical ways to do energy work. So one of the best ways to strengthen your intuition is through meditation. And a simple practice of just sitting in silence for 10 minutes a day can really help you to quiet your mind and tune into your inner voice, your higher self. Your higher self is your inner voice. And even if you're just doing a 5 minute, a 3 minute guided meditation, oh my God, just the practice of consistently meditating, so wildly helpful. And because I was somebody who thought I couldn't meditate, I'm always like, if you can't meditate or you don't like meditating, then here are other things you can do. And there are other things you can do. I don't always feel like meditating. It is helpful every single time I do, but like I said a minute ago, I don't always like to do the things that I know would be great for me. I'm a rebel, all right? I'm a rebel. I fight back. I fight back against the things I know are good for me because I just want to maintain control in my life. And that is a way that I exert control by being like, no, I don't want to do this. Anyway, so journaling is another powerful tool. You can ask yourself questions like, what is my intuition telling me today? Or when was the last time I ignored a gut feeling? And then how did it turn out? You also don't even have to journal those things. You can meditate and ask those things. You can just sit in quiet contemplation, ask yourself that, see what your higher self comes back with. But I find journaling helpful. It's very tactile. Like sometimes I really like the tangible things in life. And so I love writing. Writing also does something for the processes of like your brain. There's a difference between typing and writing. You actually remember things better when you write them with like handwriting rather than typing. So like if you're in a class and you're taking notes, if you're taking notes by typing, you can type faster than you can write. And so your brain is a little lazier when you're typing and you will type out like more so verbatim what's happening. But if you handwrite it, you have to cognitively process it, break it down into a simpler concept. So you really have to understand it in order to like write your notes. I just saw this somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but yeah. So writing things down, that's why journaling can be so powerful. That's one of the reasons journaling can be so powerful because the act of writing on paper with a writing tool, I just imagined like a big calligraphy brush. I don't know. Anyway, super impactful. Mindfulness practices like mindful breathing or body scans can also work wonders. That's kind of like it's almost like meditation, but you don't have to meditate to do a body scan. It's kind of like where you just tap into your body and you're like, okay, or tune into your body. Just sit quietly, relax, take a deep breath if you need to, and then you're just like you scan your body from head to toe or from toe to head. Usually whenever I've heard meditations and when I'm doing it, I just naturally will start with the top of my head. Um, which is weird because when I'm grounding, I always start at the bottom, but that's because I'm grounding. Anyway, if you're doing a body scan, start with the top of your head and just be like, what does my head feel like? And you're just observing, you're not trying to change it. You're just like, what does my head feel like? Where am I feeling tension? Do I need to release the muscles in my face? How's my neck feeling? How's my back feeling? How's my chest feeling? And then you just go down your body and see how you're feeling. And then that can help you to just get in touch with how your body is feeling, which can help you to be able to process and interpret intuitive insights that come through as physical sensations. Because if you are aware of how your body normally feels because you regularly do these body scans, then when you are getting some kind of physical sensation, like, oh, well, I felt euphoric goosebumps on my shoulders, or I felt this tingly sensation in my arms when this thing happened, then you can start connecting those physical sensations with your intuition, because that's what that is. And so that's what creating a body map is kind of like. And just anyway, so mindful breathing, doing a body scan, just being present in the moment helps you to notice how your body feels, and then connecting with your breath can heighten your intuitive awareness. Breath is life. So connecting with your breath is connecting with yourself. And remember, your body holds intuitive wisdom. So just start paying attention to how your body responds to people, how it's responding to places, to situations, to conversations, to journal prompts. Like this morning where I was like, I don't want to do it. Your physical sensations, whether it's this tightening in your chest, a pain in your head or stomach, or butterflies, or this feeling of repulsion, you're like, I want to get away from this thing. Those are often your intuition trying to speak to you. So just keep that in mind. All right, and now some practical tips for energy work. So we went over practical techniques for strengthening your intuition, but what about practical techniques for energy work? Do you have to get Reiki? Do you have to get certified in one of these modalities to do it? Like, do you have to use the emotion code? Do you have to come to me and get an emotion code session? No to all of those. You can, but energy work also looks like grounding, energy clearing, balancing your chakras, protecting your energy field. I feel like so often when we talk about energy work, it's always like Reiki and, the other, I had to pull that off. I couldn't. And like the other modalities, but it's not always something that you have to go to somebody for, that you have to get certified in. So I want to first talk about grounding, because that's one of the easiest, most common ones that we know about. So you could picture yourself as a tree with deep roots extending into the earth. I usually like to imagine the roots extending out of my body wherever I'm in contact with the floor or the ground. And that's just one way to do it. You can also imagine energetic cords to ground yourself, and like imagine energetic cords acting as roots that are also going down into the earth, connecting into the core, allowing that energy to come back up. Or you could stand on black tourmaline, like visualize yourself standing on black tourmaline and really anchoring into that. It's also very protective. Um, and so grounding is essential for staying balanced and clearing any chaotic energy. So helpful. So if you ever feel off, go out, ground. Do a grounding visualization. Go put your feet in the dirt. Go put your hands in the dirt. And you can do grounding visualizations as often as you feel like doing them. You can do them daily to feel more centered, or weekly. I probably do them almost every day because I always ground before connecting to the Akashic records or doing readings. And I also ground before connecting psychically. And I'll usually ground once and then just intend, like set the intention for it to be established for the rest of my readings that day. So when I connect, it's more of just like this quick acknowledgement that like, okay, I'm grounded, I'm good to go. But I do initially like to do a 5 to 10 minute grounding. I don't do that every single time. That would add up a lot throughout the day. But some days I do have to intentionally and actively ground throughout the day and do it do like a 5 to 10 minute grounding before each session if I am feeling really off or frazzled or kind of chaotic. It really just depends on my energy that day. So I try to be flexible and really pay attention to how I'm feeling. Clearing negative energy is the key, though, when it comes to energy work. So whether it's smudging with sage and Palo Santo, taking a salt bath, or just visualizing white light washing over you, clearing your energy field regularly will help to keep you in this higher vibrational state and feeling more balanced. And I have to specifically give the chakras a shout out. Those are our energy centers. Your chakras play a really big role in how energy flows. And you can do a quick visualization exercise, like imagining each chakra is this ball of light. And then if any of them feel blocked as you're checking on them, kind of like doing a body scan, if any of them feel blocked, then you can imagine them like spinning freely and glowing brightly. And like the more they open up, activate, and clear, the faster they spin and the like brighter they glow. I used to do this daily and I loved it. And I would like do each chakra color. So I'd go through, I'd start with my root chakra, I'd ground, and then I'd start with my root chakra and I'd imagine this red orb. And then I would imagine it start spinning and I would make it spin faster and faster and faster until it's got like this glow around it of red light. And then once that one feels good, I move on to the next one. Sacral chakra, orange, same thing. Solar plexus, yellow, same thing. Go to your heart chakra in your chest. I would imagine green. And then sometimes I would do my high heart, which is turquoise. Throat, imagine light blue. Third eye, I think of purple. And then crown, I think of white. Or I would do like silver or something or gold. But really, if you don't know what color the chakra is, you can just imagine it as whatever color feels right to you, or imagine them all as golden orbs of energy. Like there's no one right way to do it. Don't let your perfectionism or your perfectionist tendencies keep you from doing things that would be good for you. So however you imagine them, you can imagine them each as like little Tonka trucks and the wheels start spinning as you're clearing your chakras. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever works for you, use your imagination, be creative, get fun with it. Anyway, I used to do that every day. That chakra balancing exercise. And oh my God, I loved it. It felt so good. I really did it a lot when I was going through my first huge spiritual awakening that I was conscious of in 2020. I did it all the time when I was like, it got my clairsenses like so open and on point. I was meditating a lot and I forgot about some of these things I was doing. I was also doing a lot of energy clearing every day. I would cleanse my aura. I would do this with my chakras. So good. So good. Anyway, the last one I'm going to talk about is energetic boundaries. So, so crucial. And this is a conversation that comes up a lot. A lot of people message me about energetic boundaries. And so you can create energetic boundaries by visualizing a protective bubble of light around you, like before you go into a stressful environment or you're going to deal with stressful people or be in a situation. Maybe before going to Walmart, there's a lot of heavy energy hanging out in that place. No offense, Walmart. I go there. Anyway, setting energetic boundaries can keep your energy intact and it can prevent you from absorbing negative energy unconsciously or energies that aren't yours, energies you don't want unconsciously. It can help to keep you from absorbing them because a lot of us will pick up stuff and don't realize we're picking up the things, whether it's on purpose to help somebody or just randomly being out in public. So some other common energetic boundary setting techniques are, aside from visualizing a bubble, because that doesn't work for everybody. Some people are like, that doesn't work for me. So you can also ground yourself in nature. You can set intentions for your energy by saying something like, I'm in control of my energy and I only allow in what serves my highest good. You can use cord cutting. You can use crystals for protection. So like carrying and wearing protective stones like black tourmaline, obsidian, or amethyst can really help to absorb negative energies and reinforce your energetic boundaries throughout the day. Just be mindful that if you are wearing a crystal or some jewelry and it breaks, that can be indicative that it's reached its capacity and it's time to retire it. Because as those things are holding energy, it can only hold and filter so much negative energy. And then it's like, that's happened to me with a necklace before. I think my mom had a crystal pendulum that broke. And that just means, okay, like it's done. It's time for it to retire. Okay. And just because I did mention Reiki certifications and all like the modalities that are more structured that you'll usually go to somebody for or learn how to do yourself. They're not just like practices that I mean, they are practices. You know, I'm just going to say what I'm saying and stop trying to give all these disclaimers. So if you're interested in certifications or for seeing somebody to help you to facilitate energy work, my favorite modalities are the emotion code, which is where you work with your subconscious directly to identify and release emotional baggage. and I'm emotion code certified, so I can speak to that a lot. If you want a session, website to book it. Love doing emotion code sessions. They're about an hour long. And then Reiki is another form of energy healing that involves channeling universal life force energy through the practitioner to promote relaxation. Not all forms of Reiki are channeling that life force energy through the practitioner. That's a certain type of Reiki. But whether it's being channeled through the practitioner or it's just being intended to go to someone or something, um, it promotes relaxation, balance, healing, and just overall well-being. And it can also, like I said, it can be through intention. It doesn't necessarily just have to be like from your hands, putting your hands on somebody. You can also just intend for Reiki energy to go somewhere. What else? Then there are, family constellations is another less talked about form of energy healing that is so profound, like mind exploding emoji here. That's the image. It's so family constellations is an energy healing modality that reveals hidden dynamics in family systems by exploring ancestral patterns, and it allows for the release of emotional burdens and the restoration of harmony within the family lineage. Thank you, Chat GPT, for that description because I was like, how do I describe this? I've done group sessions or workshops for this over Zoom, always over Zoom. And I also did a one-on-one session, a family constellations one-on-one, where it was just me and the practitioner. I did that this past weekend with Lorena Espiga, and she's amazing. I've mentioned her many, many times. And it's just such a profound healing modality. I was like, why don't I do this more often? It was wild. I was like, I need to come every weekend for these because I have so many things to constellate. Constellate is the verb of what you would bring to work on in a session. And so I'm definitely going to have her on the podcast to talk about it because more people need to know that this is an option. It's so wildly healing. It's, oh my God, it's so profound. And when you do the group workshops and like different people are playing the different aspects of the issue or situation, like it's wild. It's just wild. And it needs its own series of episodes. So we're going to leave it there. If you're interested in family constellations, look up Lorena Espiga. She can talk to you about it. I've also done sessions with another chick, but Lorena's amazing. So I'm just going to talk about Lorena because she's freaking great. And I think her website is lorenaespiga.com if you want to go there and do the things. But you can also just reach out to her. She's really sweet and helpful. So there are a ton of other energy healing modalities, but I just wanted to mention some of my favorites that I regularly use. You can also do energy healing through the Akashic records by doing an Akashic clearing, and that's part of my Akashic Soul Blueprint readings. I think my Akashic Soul Blueprint reading is the only one I do clearing with at this moment. I think I am going to do a session though where it is just past lives and energy clearing to like break those patterns, but it's not up on my site yet. So you can book an Akashic Soul Blueprint and emotion code session with me through my website, ashleybrickhouse.com. So, next part of the podcast episode. So, how do you integrate intuition and energy work into your daily life? Now that we know what they are, how do we actually use them? So, incorporating these practices, it doesn't have to be time consuming. You can just start your day with 5 minutes of meditation. You can and then journal right afterward, or you can just journal and reflect for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to make a big thing out of it. And I'm really talking to myself when I say that because there are so many practices I don't do because I'm like, oh, there's so much involved in it and I have to get set up and then I need to sit there for at least an hour if I'm going to do it. Like, no, stop. Stop that. That's self-sabotage. You can make time to journal for 5 minutes. You can find 5 minutes in your day. Let's all chill. Let's calm down. Like some of us need that tough love. So even just having mindful moments, like let's say you're seriously like, I don't have 5 minutes to journal. Okay, that's fine. I understand. I've definitely been there and been like, seriously, come at me. You want to trying to tell me I can carve out 5 minutes? You don't know my life. So even if you're just going to take a moment to do some deep breathing, like during a break, that can also make a huge difference. Like right now, let's all just take a deep, big breath and allow your rib cage to expand. Go ahead and inhale all the way down to your pelvis and hold it for a moment. Hold that breath. Just kind of like be there in this moment. And then when you feel ready, slowly start to release the breath and maybe even audibly sigh as you exhale. Ah, and then do that another time or two and then go about your day. It can be that quick and easy. Look, we just did it right here. Boom. Look at you multitasking. Look at you, beautiful soul, multitasking your butt off with your deep breath and whatever else you're doing. So mindfulness activities are great. You can also do yoga. You can walk in nature. It helps strengthen both of those things can help strengthen your mind-body connection. And these moments of mindfulness can really help to like anchor you into your intuition and energy awareness. And consistency is everything. So the more regularly you practice, the more you'll notice the transformative, profound effects in your life. And whenever you're adding something new, I have to throw this in there because I can get overwhelmed really easily. I have so many things I want to do and want to whatever, and then I get overwhelmed because I'm like, oh, my list is so long. So whenever you're adding something new to your routine or you're picking up a new habit, there's something you're interested in adding to your life, start with simple, easy steps and then just build on them. And I know it kind of goes without saying, it's obvious, but it's still good to have these reminders. I love obvious reminders because even though it's obvious doesn't mean I'm thinking about it all the time. Sometimes my unconscious patterns just pop right in there before I can recognize that it's something obvious, and then I miss out on a great tip. So, what can you do for 5 minutes at the start of your day to set you up for balanced energy and success, for alignment? What can you do? Journal for 5 minutes, automatic writing, maybe some deep breathing, a little mini 3-minute meditation, a walk outside, yoga, stretching, maybe a few minutes of quiet contemplation while you sip your coffee or your tea, reading a few pages of a book, whatever it is. Just start small and then add to it as you're ready. But 5 minutes is all you have to start with. When I was practicing accessing the Akashic records, some days I could only do it for about 5 minutes. On great days, I could do it for 45 minutes, but if 3 to 5 minutes was all I could do, that's what I did. And it makes a difference because it's you staying consistent and it's you showing up for yourself. If you are somebody who is struggling with trusting yourself, one of the ways that you start trusting yourself is by showing up for yourself consistently. Stop putting yourself on the back burner. Stop it. Okay. So I've seen so many incredible stories and transformations in my clients who have combined their intuition or intuitive insights with energy work. And honestly, I don't even need to say that. Just just intuitive insights or just energy work, but the combination is really powerful. So one of my clients was feeling really blocked and like lost. You know, that feeling where you're just like, I just don't know. I just don't know. Help me. It's kind of like that. And then after just a few sessions of some energy clearing using the emotion code and an Akashic records reading, because sometimes it's cool to pair them together. It just depends on your circumstance. Some people just go ahead and get the emotion code healing. You don't need the Akashic records reading, but the Akashic records reading can help to bring some things to light that you can use the emotion code for. So that's kind of one of the ways that that would be used. Then anyway, so she got the emotion code, she got a few emotion code healing sessions, and then she got an Akashic records reading, not in that order. And after it took a little bit of time because it can take some time for energy to move, for your everything to kind of integrate and line up and like settle. It's energy. It's not like it leaves immediately and then boom. I mean, it can be like that, but it's not always like that. Everybody takes a different amount of time. And anyway, she ended up being able to make more aligned decisions that helped her to shift some things in her life. I'm trying not to like give away personal stuff because I did not ask before talking about these. I was just like, I want to throw these in here. And I actually do want to talk about some other examples because I love actual evidence and like stories of how this stuff works and stories of how it's actually helping people and like their results that they're getting. And I don't even like to say results when I'm talking about like readings and spiritual stuff and energy work because that feels very like I just don't like it. So I'm going to say stories, like transformation stories. I like that. So I'm going to give you an example of how the emotion code helped somebody that I worked with, how a channeled Akashic records reading, and then helped somebody and like kind of what they got out of it, what they came to me with, what they got out of it. And then have to talk about Akashic Soul Blueprint readings. I have to talk about one of those because who doesn't love a good success story? Anyway, okay, so For the emotion code, I worked with this client who'd been struggling with deeply rooted anxiety for years. And she couldn't figure out why certain situations were triggering her, even though they didn't seem related to any trauma that she was aware of. So we did an emotion code session and released trapped emotions of fear and unworthiness from this event that happened in her childhood that she'd forgotten about. What? Talk about subconscious beliefs, guys. And then almost immediately, she started to feel lighter, like as we release them, because it's a Zoom. I'm right there with you. We connect with your subconscious right there with you. And then we're talking to your subconscious with you right there. And so you release the emotion right there on the Zoom in real time. And usually you'll start feeling lighter because you're letting go of these weights that have been weighing down your energy. And she said that she felt lighter and like a weight had been lifted. And people don't always get back to me, but I really love when they do. And so she reached out after a few weeks and she told me that her anxiety in a lot of those situations where it was like overwhelming her, had completely disappeared. Like, what? How freaking cool is that? I love, love, love when people get back to me and let me know, like, this is how things have changed. Oh, it's so satisfying. And so she also said that she hadn't felt like that free in years because I mean, we all know what anxiety feels like. It can be debilitating. It just feels so viscerally like somebody squeezing you, it can feel like. So anyway, letting go of emotional baggage really does weigh, or emotional baggage really does weigh you down. Like it can feel like actual physical weight. And so once you finally let go of the things that you're holding on to in your energy field, it can be life altering. And I say that I've used the emotion code. It is wild how the act of intentionally releasing crap you're holding on to that isn't serving you can shift things for you in your life, like almost immediately sometimes. It's wild. Okay, so Akashic Records readings. So I have them labeled as channeled Akashic Records readings on my site to differentiate them. Because I offer a few different kinds of Akashic readings. But anyway, so I had another person who reached out to me and she said that she was feeling stuck in her career and like kind of unsure about her purpose. It was a woman. And so I really related to that. And I was like, yes, I've got you. I've been there. Let's do this. So I was super excited about doing a reading for her to see what would come through. And she said that she'd tried a lot of things and she was just still feeling really disconnected from her purpose. And so she decided to get an Akashic Records reading, the channeled Akashic Records reading. And that's the channeled one that I do that's live on Zoom where you can ask questions. And during her reading, we found out about this past life where she had been a healer, but in that life, she was basically shunned for her abilities. And so now that fear of being seen had carried over into this life. That energy was still with her, affecting her now, just like it did in that life. And it was causing her to self-sabotage in a really big way. And so once she was able to recognize and then understand that pattern, she was able to move into the state of empowerment where she could fully step into her purpose as a guide and a healer in this lifetime without the fear of judgment and feeling like she would be shunned or kicked out of her community. And it can be so challenging to deal with that kind of stuff. But the first step, taking that first step is what matters. And I'm so proud of her that she even was like, I know that there's another way. Like I can feel more fulfilled and connected, and that she explored that. I'm so proud of her for exploring that and then taking action with the insights that she received from that reading. Because yes, a channeled Akashic Records reading can be really healing in that it brings insights to light, or it brings hidden things to light, or it gives you another perspective about something. And it can be very healing. I don't consider it an energy healing modality, but it can be an energy healing modality, um, without even going into your records to clear anything. It's wild. Just acknowledging something allows you to shift it. Okay, so the last example or a client win, it's really a win. Had to talk about the Akashic Soul Blueprint ones because that's the new shiny thing that I talk about all the time because they're so good, guys. They're so amazing. The amount of information is a little overwhelming, but the insights that come through are so helpful and spot on, and just like, here you go. Here's the roadmap for how to manifest whatever you want. Here's the roadmap for the life that your soul really wants to live. So when you start aligning with your blueprint, life is just going to be great for you. You're going to feel like you're growing. You're going to feel like you're really getting the most out of your experience. You're going to feel like you can make decisions that are aligned with your path. You're going to know what your path is, like, and you're going to feel good about it. It's such a great reading. But anyway, so one of my clients was feeling lost. A lot of us are feeling lost, guys. It's really common. Lost is a big one. Um, Loss is an umbrella term. I really want to break that down more, but we're not doing that right now. So one of my clients was feeling lost. She was constantly seeking external validation in her relationships. And we already know external validation, when you seek it too much, it can really mess with the trust you have in yourself and make you feel more lost. And she was really just overall feeling disconnected from herself, from her higher self, from her soul. She was just feeling out of it. And so we did an Akashic Soul Blueprint reading because based on the things that she wanted to work on, that made the most sense. And so we went over her soul's main gifts, which were communication and leadership, but she'd been suppressing her voice because she was scared of not being accepted, which was making it hard for her to align with and embrace her purpose. And it was really throwing her energy off and messing with the way that she was making decisions for her life. She was solely relying on logic and letting these subconscious programs essentially like control her because she was making choices based on these programs that were running in the background and she just couldn't figure it out. She knew something was off and she was just like, I don't know. And so it was keeping her feeling stuck and unfulfilled and just blah. And so when we were on the Zoom and talking about what her gift was and how she could integrate it into her life and start embodying it, she broke down crying, which happens pretty often. It can be a really emotional experience, in a good way, in a really good way. And I'm here for some crying, guys. And so, yeah, the insights can be so validating and just, it can be so healing just to hear some of this stuff because it's stuff you already know. All the things that come through in readings, your soul already knows. Somebody who's doing a reading for you is just bridging that gap between you and your soul, opening that line of communication so that you can get those messages more clearly. You've already gotten them, you already know them. You just aren't able to like bring them to the forefront as much as you could. And so anyway, we talked about the power of her words and how speaking her truth could actually heal other people. And so ever since then, she's been speaking up more in her relationships. She's been noticing this, or she hasn't been noticing, but she noticed this huge shift, like people responding to her differently just because her energy was different. It shifted so much stuff in her life. And she's finally embracing her role as a leader. Like, yeah, it's really cool. It's just, I love, 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 love these stories. I should do a podcast episode just about like client transformations and wins because it's, I need to share these things with people. And personally, these practices have been life-changing for me. Like there have been moments when I wasn't sure of my path. I still go through that. Give me like next week, I'll be like, what's my path? Even though I know what my path is, whatever. I love reassurance. Okay. And they've helped me tune into my intuition, align with my energy to help me find clarity and peace and purpose. Like all the things I've talked about in this episode, I use them, I've done them, I've tried them. They're great. So I talk about them. So I feel like I've talked a lot about my experience with these things though. So I actually want to talk about how and when I like to use them. So I'm actually about to do a channeled Akashic Records reading for myself and open the Akashic Records for my business so I can see what would be most aligned when it comes to the systems I'm using, the type of content I'm creating, my mission, how I'm marketing, and some different timelines that I can tap into to help me grow and scale my business. Like, I think we forget, but you can use the Akashic Records for anything. You can open the Akashic Records for your pet. See what's up with them. What's their story? What are they going through? Why did they incarnate? Why are they in your life? Like, you can do that. You can open the Akashic Records for where you live, for your home. Yeah, having weird energetic disturbances and stuff. Akashic Records reading your home and learn about what's happening there because you can do an Akashic Records reading for everything. It's so cool. And I don't think it's that part of Akashic Records is talked about very often. I think it's always like, I'm getting an Akashic Records reading and I'm going to ask questions, but you can open Akashic Records for anything. And then there are the Galactic Akashic Records, which are the Akashic Records for the galactic. That would mean galaxy, but I'm going to say universe. Anyway, I'm also planning to do another emotion code session for Fish, our cat, because she is just not a fan of our puppy and she's so skittish. I did one session for her and her behavior started changing. It was so wild. She's so antisocial. I did an emotion code session, released some emotions for her, and she got friendlier and less shy and scared of strangers. It was really wild. It happened immediately. Like while I was doing the session, she came over and was like curling up and being all playful. It was so cute. Um, yeah, she's got some social anxiety that I know she'd love to let go of. So I'm also gonna I want to do some emotion code sessions for Rocket, the puppy. I mean, she's almost 7 months, so she's a puppy because she's having some social anxiety also. My pets definitely pick up my stuff, and I have a lot of anxiety. So we're all just letting go of our anxiety. That's the upcoming goal. Yeah, it's so cool the ways that you can use all of these modalities. And I'm also going to do an Akashic Records reading for my relationship with my boyfriend. We definitely have some karmic ties and absolutely have a soul contract. And I just want to know what those lessons and triggers are. I want some clarity on what we're doing so I can better facilitate the things and really lean into them? But yeah, he's great. Love my boyfriend. Um, and you can do an Akashic Records reading for your domestic partner. So like if you live with somebody, you can ask about that because you're sharing energy. You can ask about your kids. You can get an Akashic Records reading for your child to see how to parent them. Isn't that wild? Okay. So these different readings and energy healing tools can be used in so many ways. And I forget to talk about it because I'm so used to just doing what I do. But I want to talk about them more, not right now, but like in the future. I want to talk about more of the ways that you can use these different techniques and modalities because I know that we can all benefit from understanding what our options are, like what's available to us, what are the tools at our disposal that we can be using. So, yeah. And if you're ever like, man, I want to get a reading, or I know I could use some energy work to align my energy and heal, but I have no idea where to start. I don't know what session to get. I created these 15-minute free discovery calls, and you could just book one with me. It's the first thing when you go to my website, ashleybrickhouse.com, and you can click on it. You choose the date that you want. It's a 15-minute free call, and then you request the session. It's not an automatic booking. I have to approve it because there's a short time span between you booking it and when it happens. So I have to go in there and manually approve it. Once I manually approve it, you'll get the email with the link and everything. Um, but yeah, we'll hop on a Zoom and you can tell me what's going on and I'll help you find the best option for you, whether it's a reading with me, it might be zero readings with me. I might know somebody who would be a better fit for you, or um, maybe you end up wanting to get two readings, or maybe you decide you want to do some personal work before, looking into readings down the road. So either way, it's there to help you out, no pressure. And you can also email me and just, ask me these questions also if you don't want to book the 15-minute call. I know not everybody is excited about jumping on a Zoom. So, speaking of everybody's not excited to jump on a Zoom, also, if you're interested in getting a reading for me and my schedule's not lining up with your stuff, you're not able to find a day and time that works, any reading or modality I use, I can do it without you being present. I can record it and then I can email it to you. So if our schedules don't line up, you can still get a reading. It will still be amazing and helpful. And you don't have to come to a Zoom at a certain time. Your call. Okay. Love options. Love options. All right. So if today's episode resonated with you, I'm getting to the special offer, by the way. We're like right there in 30 seconds. I am wrapping up, but I still have something for you. So if today's episode resonated with you, I would love to support you on your journey. I offer mentorship and readings to help you heal and grow and to move forward with clarity and feeling more empowered and in control of your life. The mentorship is really good if you want support in connecting with your intuition, developing your gifts. You just need someone to talk to and help you navigate situations. And we do that with psychic insights. Like I connect with you psychically during these mentorship sessions. I connect with your energy. You can use one for emotion code healing. Like if you book a package with mentorship stuff, it doesn't all have to just be like one thing. We can do different stuff each session. And then spiritual growth coaching, whatever you need. The mentorship is just this open, safe, and supporting container where you can come and be yourself. Maybe you're like, I really want to start a business. Maybe I want to do what you do, Ashley. Like mentorship is whatever you want it to be. It's really just me supporting you and helping you to do the things. Okay, so for my podcast listeners, all of you beautiful souls out there right now listening to my voice, I'm offering a special discount on all of my sessions right now. So you can head over to my website and use the code ALIGN, ALIGN, ALIGN for 25% off any session for the next 7 days. So until October the 7th, next Monday, you can use this code ALIGN to get 25% off any session I offer. Just go to my website. I think you actually have to go to my calendar, choose your date, and then on the pay, whenever the little pay thing pops up, you can enter the discount code. Okay, so to recap, strengthening both your intuition and energy work is key to living a life that's more aligned with your higher self. And we went over practical techniques, success stories, and then how to start integrating these things into your daily life. Don't forget, friendly reminder, transformation is a journey and small steps lead to big shifts. So keep showing up for yourself, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe or follow and share it with somebody who could use these insights. Send it to a friend or a family member or post it. Post it on your stories. Be like, hey, listen to this. It's a great episode to help you out. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, and I cannot wait to connect with you again soon. If you made it this far in the episode, tag me in your stories and be like, I made it. Or like share the episode in your stories and be like, I made it, I did it. Celebration hands. It's like my favorite emoji, the two hands. Um, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts or any questions you might have. So feel free to reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram at Spirituality with Ashley, or you can email me at support@ashleybrickhouse.com. Stay mindful, stay focused, and keep believing in yourself. Until next time, keep dreaming big and living your best life. I will see you in the next episode.